You are listening to the Masculine Mindset Show, a podcast for introverts to get more confidence, more importantly, more self-worth, and of course, get more fit. Women are a side benefit. More importantly, I turn nice guys into bad motherfuckers. Let's get into the content. You fucking legend. Sponsored by Brain FM. Real binaural beats that has sleep tracks, meditation tracks, recharge tracks, relaxation tracks, focus tracks, which, by the way, those focus tracks are really fucking good. Man, do I focus when I am writing my blogs, you guys. Okay, let's get into the content. I fucking love it. If you'd sign up right now. Masculine Mindset Show. It's Adam Skoda. So you guys, today I'm interviewing someone. His name is Jerremy Newsome, and he's the author of Money Grow on Trees, and he's also a Forbes Business Council member, on top of the host of the Broke to Woke podcast. So I'm gonna just have him introduce himself to my audience now. How you doing, man?
Men of the world, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for pouring into your soul. I'm really amped about this, Adam.
Awesome. So today's topic is how to improve masculinity by making more money. I love this topic, actually, because I'm going to tell you something.
Hit me.
Between you and me, I did grow up in a middle-class family, and my beliefs, for a long time, I was conditioned, money doesn't grow on trees. But your book, Money Does Grow on Trees, I love that title. And I ordered it because I was like, this guy's a legend. I agree with him. So I'm going to have you basically give your spiel on why this helps men improve masculinity to make more money. So yeah.
So here's my answer. Here's my thought, Adam. Men's number one real desire, in my opinion, is freedom. That's really what we crave at our hearts. All true men, freedom of choice, freedom of expression, just pure freedom to do what we want to do. That's what really drives the modern man. And a lot of times we feel constrained, and we could feel constrained at work. We could feel constrained by our background, our choices, where we live, the car we drive in, all those things. Money solves all of your money problems. And most people listening might agree with me on that topic, because if you are making less than $130,000 a year, you probably are experiencing the pain of some money problems. Now, if you have more than $130,000 a year of income, you probably don't have money problems. You might have money challenges, money hurdles, money obstacles, but you don't necessarily have a strict problem, right? You can feed your family, you can do some things. You begin to start tasting freedom. The reason that people love six figures and they talk about like how to, making 100,000 or seven figures, making $1 million, because once you have $100,000, Adam, you now have more dollars than you have days left in your life. And once you get to $1 million, you probably have more dollars than you have hours left to live. So the numbers start really shifting. And as you know, money gives you the opportunity to be free. It gives you the opportunity to have choices. It gives you the opportunity to say yes to the things you want to say yes to, which builds your confidence, gives you freedom, makes you happier, and allows you to really live in the fullest expression of yourself.
Love it. Now, all right. I actually wanted to comment on that. And there was something that I learned a very long time ago that so I learned that you should have an emotional bank account, but also a one that you'll use for business. But also, more importantly, what I learned is from my experience, you should be stoic with money, very stoic. And the reason I say that is because people tie so much emotion to a piece of paper, dude. Just a piece of paper. And So what I realized is you should have an emotional bank account, yes, but another bank account, for your other expenses, businesses and whatnot. But more importantly, I think that more importantly, you should be more emotionally unavailable for money as well. Because the reason I say that is to not put so much this terrible emotion around a piece of paper. Because it's just a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, it's just a piece of paper. That was the biggest aha moment for me, is to not tie emotion to a piece of paper for me. So
Yes, because that's what a lot of people think money is.
yeah.
When you the cool part is you're 1,000% correct, and the part that I feel is uniquely different for a lot of people is when you realize that money does has an energy, it has a vibration, it has a frequency. And there are a lot of people who have figured out that frequency, who can live in that playing field, and it's easy and it's simple and it's fast and it's quick and it's always available because they have a good relationship with it. And like you mentioned, it's not a relationship with the paper, with the actual physical item. It's the relationship with the energy,
Yeah.
because it changes, right? 3,000 years ago, money looks totally different. 300 years ago, money looks totally different. 30 years ago, money looks totally different, right? Bitcoin wasn't around. You start shifting what money is physically or tangibly or digitally. But once you understand that it's just energy, and you have to have a relationship with that energy, just like you have a relationship with your wife, your kids, your daughter, your son, your best friend. If you have a best friend, Adam, which I know you do, so you have a best friend, you call him on the phone, you go, "Hey, dude, I don't like you. I don't want to be around you. You're mean to me. I think you're a rotten person. I think you're a dirty person." You start saying some of these words to your best friend, you're not going to be best friends pretty quickly, right? You're going to damage that relationship. Well, a lot of people do the exact same thing with money. They will literally say to their mind, "I don't need that much. I don't need that much." So they start creating these constrictions of the energy flow into their life. And eventually they will create the constriction so close that they're only getting just enough to survive, because that's how much they feel they deserve. I deserve enough money to survive, not thrive. And so they make $5,000 a month and their bills are $4,987 a month. And they just feel like they're in a stressful situation because they haven't opened themselves up to the fullness of that energy, of that vibration, of that uniqueness, of that relationship, which is money.
Yes, such a good point, man. And something that I've noticed as well is when, all right, as I told Jerremy before the interview, I actually worked with Jason Capital on his team a
Yep.
long time ago. And something I've noticed that I got good at, Jeremy, is I got good at spotting those hot leads. And then the reason I talk about this is because I think right here, this is when you get speed and momentum. I think that when you start making money, it's like the same thing. Like what you start making money and then it kind of just gradually moves fast. Like you get a waterfall of sales, right? As they say. And that in my mind is drastically improves masculinity, hands down, drastically. And that's the whole title of the podcast, right? Like how to make more
Yeah.
money and how
Yeah.
this improves masculinity. So when you get speed and momentum, that waterfall of sales is such a fucking dopamine trip, man. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, the two words you mentioned there, speed, momentum, those are both masculine qualities,
Mm-hmm.
right? The pushing, the focus, right? The arrow, right? The woman's the feminine energy is more about receiving and openness and allowing and magnetism and attractiveness, which is awesome, beautiful. But the masculine energy really is that energy of pushing, energy, speed, direction, focus, conquest. That's the male energy. And that's just the way it is. So when here's a great example, man, a great example. Let's say that you and another person that you know, maybe you're not best friends with this person, but you're just acquaintances or friends, you know the person, and you send them an individual, you connect them with somebody, and they end up doing really good business together. And that person a year later reaches out to you and is like, hey, dude, thanks so much for that business connection. I made 800 grand from that connection. Thank you. I'd love to send you some money, for the connection. Some people will immediately say yes. And some people, their brain will be like, nah, dude, it's all good, man. I'm just helping you out. No big deal. There's right and wrong answers for both, depending on where you're at in life, but it's what the feeling that comes up inside of you, that quick feeling that hits where you're like, ugh, I feel weird. I'm taking money for that. Like, I just pass a person to you. You did all the work. If you can understand that feeling and you start sitting into it and being aware, that's a great, great example of what a lot of people are not doing is they're masking their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us men, we're masking it. We're not allowing to really pry into how do I feel if I ask for a raise? How do I feel if I start making $300,000 a year? How do I feel if so on and so forth? You ask yourself really, really big questions, you get big answers. But if you never really allow yourself to feel what comes up in certain scenarios that play out, you're never able to really open yourself to money block removal. And you have this constriction of the energy that's coming into your life, which is more money.
Yeah, those limiting beliefs, man. Again, I love that title of your book so much.
Thanks, dude.
Money does grow on trees. I saw that. I was like, that is such a true statement. I read this book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Are you familiar with that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's everyone listening to my show. I want you all to take this into consideration. Money does grow on trees.
Yeah.
It really does grow on trees, and people don't even comprehend this. They have such a fixed mindset on money, fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I talk about dating on some of my podcasts, but also people have a fixed mindset on that as well, is they think that that stuff is creepy, which I have these very naughty podcasts, but it's just like some people will say, Adam, your podcast creeps me out. I'm like, okay, well, that tells me that you still think pickup or dating is creepy. But that also tells me that you don't even have a good relationship with women, if that's the case, too. So it's just like every single person listening to my show right now, if you think that either A, money is the root of all evil, or B, money doesn't grow on trees, or C, like even if it applies to like even in the dating field, it doesn't matter. You have to address those beliefs, because if you don't, you're going to inhibit your progress.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about inhibiting progress, Adam. Think about it from this example. If man believes that a woman will like you more if you have more money, hey, it's a fun belief to have, but it is a limiting belief, right? Women need security.
Yeah.
And security can come from money, a little bit of it. But again, once you start breaching about the $130,000 a year, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Everything else from there is just opulence, which I love. I love opulence. I love wealth. I love ultra wealth. But I'm saying it's not needed. It's something that you can have, something that you can want. Beautiful. No need to not deny yourself from it. But to work with an individual, male and female, they're going out on a date. They want to date. They want to get into the dating game. They're single. And if they have these certain beliefs that if I have more money, women will like me more. What a fun belief to have, but that's not true. You have to have confidence. You have to know how to speak to a woman, how to talk to her, have dreams, have aspirations. Women care more about dreams than they do money, for a fact. They want to know where you're going, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to create. Even if you don't have $1 million now, that's okay. A woman just wants to know that you want the $1 million and you know exactly how you're going to get it. And you tell them that every week, every 2 weeks, you give them updates, you have conversations with them. Women love direction. And money allows to have direction. Yes, money allows you to have certainty. It allows you to have security. But like I mentioned earlier, it allows you to have confidence. And when you have confidence, you can easily, much, much more simply have better relationships.
In my upcoming book, I actually call it, I coined this term, high status direction. So
okay. Yeah, I like that.
Really what high status direction is you just know where the fuck you're going in your life, which by the way, You can drop F-bombs on my show. It doesn't matter. Just,
Perfect.
yeah, go for it. So, high status direction basically means you know where you want to go with your life. You have a vision for your life. You have a vision board. You basically journal every single fucking night before you go to bed all of these goals that you have, and then when you get up in the morning you do it again, and then you journal the next night before you go to bed, and then you do it again in the next morning. Journaling is a huge success hack in my mind, and that just, it just gets all those fucking thoughts onto paper so that you know where the fuck you're going with your life.
Mm-hmm. The world and the universe makes way for those who know where they're going.
Yeah.
So I run a lot, and in Nashville where I live, there's not tons of sidewalks. So I end up running on the road pretty often, and there's not a lot of shoulder either. So if you're in Nashville and you see a huge lumbering white asparagus flopping down the road, that's probably me, but I'm in the road, dude.
Yeah.
And I actually say that to myself every other step. The world makes way for those who know where they're going, over and over and over, because I'm there and I'm looking at the traffic. I'm running towards traffic. I'm staring the cars in the face, and they always swerve. Great. The reason I'm bringing that up is because you're absolutely right. Having extreme direction, going back to just the discussion of ladies and dating and having relationships with people, women want to be led. They want a leader. Everyone wants to be around leaders, but we need, as men, to be leaders and be concrete and be decisive. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And your woman will be encouraged that you have direction. Doesn't mean that, just simply means that you can have a direction and you're moving that direction. Women love movement. And guess what allows movement? Money, right? Money allows for movement.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, something that I really liked about your podcast, From Broke to Woke, is you guys talk about purpose. And that's something that I strongly relate to. And I know that we were talking about basically how making more money improves masculinity, but you guys, I think that you've got to have a purpose behind making money.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's huge for me. I mean, dude, as I keep talking up my hardcover book, but I have to say this because it's just like you have to have a reason why your purpose is number fucking one. And if you don't figure out your purpose, where would your life be if you had no purpose? This is why depression exists and is so prevalent in today's day and age. But most people don't realize this, Jeremy. That is, depression is just a state. You can snap yourself out of it in an instant. If you just go do, like, for example, go on a run, do bioenergetics, as Elliot Hulse talks about, or fucking 10 million burpees. I'm actually in the Wes Watson community, if you know him on Instagram. We do burpees, and so it's
great workout. Yeah,
just stop getting in your head about like you're not where you're at yet with money. That's what I would say too. Is don't get down on yourself. Just don't get down on yourself. So
no need. There's no need. It's just exactly know where you want to go. Like you said, have the purpose, because you are the reason. You are the purpose. It's never going to happen as fast as you want, ever. Yeah. Nothing ever does, and it's okay. Go grind harder. Go work out harder. Go do more burpees. If you're not in the shape that you want to be in, eat less, do more burpees. You'll get in the shape, I promise. Yeah. Eat less, do more burpees. You'll get in the shape.
I like that. But
the same thing with the money, man. It's just the consistency. It's the showing up. It's the reading. You mentioned earlier, Adam, journaling is a huge success hack. It is. The amount of people that journal to even weekly, right? Just weekly, your life will change. Sitting down, writing down direction, writing down your thoughts, writing down what stood in your way. What was one of your big challenges? What was your big hurdles? Writing these things down, because you're taking your brain waves and putting it onto paper. Thoughts, as Napoleon Hill says, become things. But if your thoughts never become material, then they get stuck into the ethereal forever, once you commit to putting the ethereal into the material, guess what happens? The material becomes even more material. It starts to synthesize. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but most people won't even write it down. They won't spend a whole hour a week writing down what they want and getting crystal clear on why, like you said, why they want it.
Exactly. Dude, you just reminded me. All right, I had a very old podcast. I think it was 7 ways to build mass in your upper body. But here's what I said in that episode, you guys. As I said, no one writes down their fucking goals, and I lose my freaking shit, Jeremy. And because it's just like I have a tendency to lose my shit on my show a lot, but it's just the thing that drives me bonkers is shit like this that people can do easily. It's just grab a fucking pen, write this shit down. Where you want to go with your life? What do you want to do with the money that you make? And it's like, is it that hard to write things down? But yeah, it's so true, dude. So true. I love that. I love that.
You nailed it. Yeah, man. You nailed it. That's it. It's just know where you want to go, know why you want to go there, know the purpose and the intention behind it. And the likelihood that you get there increases dramatically. As in, like, it becomes pretty close to certain. Because there are certain principles and practices and math formulas that will guarantee your success. Right? I said guarantee, because it is. It's just a math formula, right? Math doesn't lie. So you start putting the math formula in place, you make this amount, you create this amount of savings, you take those savings, you invest those savings into 400,000 different things. You just focus on one of them for a period of time. And as long as you are making more than you're spending and you are investing the rest, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Like, your wealth will increase. That's the way it works. Most people just don't buy assets. They don't know what assets to buy. They don't read enough books. They don't study. They don't listen to enough podcasts. It's like, spend time, spend energy, spend effort. 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day. We're not asking for a bunch, but like, while you're at work, while you're on a lunch break, you could read a chapter of a book. You could read a page of a book. The time that we need for massive acceleration in our lives is everywhere around us. And we're wasting it oftentimes by not thinking, not listening to ourselves, and not writing down where you want to go.
Exactly. You mentioned more books, dude. There's one that I recommend everyone check out that is 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. Do you know that one?
No, that's a cool name too.
Yeah. It's a big inspiration for my upcoming hardcover book. But really, yeah, something that I really liked a lot that I even took inspiration from, that is the middle class coach on logic, but the world class coach through emotions. And that's something that I had to wrap my mind around too, dude, because I'm the host of the Masculine Mindset Show. And when I talk about emotions, it's just like, I don't want to get into my freaking emotions that much now, do I? Right? Because I'm the host of this show. But now I realize that it's true though. Like, I have to realize that there's some type of receiving involved when it comes to money. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys have to really, I think, open their mind on that, because that might be like, wait, what? Is that true? But it is, you guys. I mean, let me know if you have anything to say on that. So
I think you nailed it, man. It's opening your awareness to what's possible for you. A lot of times, the whole Tony Robbins quote, "Proximity is power," is know what's possible, and then try to be around the people that inspire you, that encourage you, that are doing the things that you want to do.
yeah,
If you've never done 100 burpees in your life, then spend time tomorrow doing 10 and do them all day, right? Just 10 burpees. So do one burpee, one, and then an hour later, do another one. And then an hour later, do another one. It's like, all right, cool. That's 3. Hour later, do another one. Do that for 10 hours. You'll have 10 burpees done. Sweet. And the next day, you won't be that sore. And then do 15.
yeah,
But when you're around the people, if I come to your house or Adam comes to your house and we work out with you, you're going to do 40 day 1. And then you're going to do 60 day 2. And you're going to do 80 day 3. And then you'll do 300. in 2 weeks, in a day. And you're going to get leaner and meaner, and you're going to get shredded. And it's just because you allowed proximity of greatness to come into your life. So at some point, that's the other big piece, is the awareness of what's possible, and then bringing that awareness into your life through proximity. So again, podcasts, books, or in person, right? That actual physical personal energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, we covered so much.
We did, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited. This is good.
yeah. This is really, really, really good stuff. Real quick, I would love for Jerremy to kind of tell where he's from, because honestly, dude, I heard some crazy stories on your podcast. I was like, you've been through a lot in your life, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. If you want to wrap up with like a quick story on how basically what made you into a self-made man, and where you're at today with helping people, I think my listeners would love to hear it, because I think that would inspire my listeners a lot. It would really
Well,
inspire
thank you,
them.
man. Yeah, well, thank you. I growing up about 30 minutes south of where they filmed the movie Deliverance. So we're talking in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. So I grew up as poor as you can grow up in the US. I say that because my wife is from the USSR. So I don't really know true poverty, but I know American poverty. It wasn't awesome. I grew up in Georgia, no air conditioning, just always hot, sticky. And for those of you who are listening, write this down. It's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness.
Mm.
We all have the same resources, essentially, which is just time. And so it's how you use that time. I was 6. I picked blackberries, wild blackberries from the bush, sold them door to door for $1 a bag, made $1,500 selling blackberries, took that money and bought shares of Apple with my dad's help eventually, because of the movie Forrest Gump. Bought some shares of Apple in 1995 at the lowest of the bottom of Apple. And from 1995 to 2000, those septupled in value. And I cashed out in the top of 2000, and my dad handed me $12,000 as a 12-year-old. And I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I want to create money through thinking and through knowledge. But that's why, as you mentioned in the book, right? Money grows on trees. It's like, I literally took a thing that's growing wild and transacted it from money. And that money allowed expansion of my net worth, because I bought something that I loved, knew, understood, and believed in, which was just Apple stock, Apple computers. I saw the movie. Forrest Gump said that he never had to worry about money anymore because they invested into a fruit company. Fruit company was Apple. I just wanted to do what he did it, and it worked out pretty well. And so now, I mean, coming full circle, any of us have access to that right now. There's apps like Robinhood or Acorns that are free to use, free to download, free to install, free to transact. And you can take tens of dollars a day or a week and put it into your portfolio and start buying stocks slowly but surely. And as it grows, guess what happens to your confidence? Your confidence grows. And then it becomes this beautiful circle of awareness. And so come 30 years from that day of picking blackberries and selling them door to door in Georgia, come 30 years from now, where I'm at presently, my whole day in life is structured around educating anyone around the entire world how the stock market works, how money works, how anyone can interact with it, and they can use these instruments that are available to everybody. How we can all interact with these instruments to create incredible wealth for ourselves. Because, Adam, as you know, it is easy. The resources are there, and how resourceful can you be? Because not only does money grow on trees, but trees literally are money, right? We do take trees and we turn it into paper and we print money on that paper, like you mentioned earlier.
It's just a piece of paper, you guys. It's just a piece of paper. So much emotion tied to it.
Exactly. It's right there. Right there. It's like, why are you so scared of this? It's literally in your house. You probably brought a Christmas tree into your house. Like, you paid money for a tree by the transitive property of math. Right? Like, you spent money for a tree. Trees are money. It's available. So stop coming up with the excuse that it's hard and realize that you're the problem.
Yeah.
And start going within and figuring out ways to heal and to correct and to shift and to update and to do hard things and to create beautiful masculine energy, which is very healing and very protective. And the more you do that, the better we become. Because I truly believe, I'll end with this, Adam, I truly believe the brokenness of this world is in direct proportion to the brokenness of men. And so that's why I appreciate inviting me on your show, because as we elevate the masculine of this world and we allow them to truly be leaders and protectors, which we're supposed to be, protectors of the family unit, protectors of the unit around us, we become more aware that we have a lot of use in this world and we are needed badly to step up and to really start helping everyone around us.
Oh, I love that so much, dude. You just encouraged introspection, basically calling yourself out, which, by the way, oh my God, I have such a loud, polarizing podcast called 10X Your Masculinity, but it's just like, you guys, the more you call yourself out, the more no one has to call you out. So start calling yourself out more often. So, and that's a great place to wrap up on this episode. It was awesome having you on, Jeremy. Honestly, I'm excited to release this to my listeners so that they can listen to it more than once. I think that we provided some amazing value for my listeners. And more importantly, you guys, I really want to wrap up this podcast by saying this. You guys, I do get hit up on my Instagram a lot. He came in and he just said, how can I add value to your life? And that right there is something that I don't see every day. And that's the reason I really took the time to bring him on my show, because I want to make this as an example of what a kind, generous guy can do for basically how us men should be, right? Just kind, generous, and basically just not, all right, I have an episode called Why Are You Such an Asshole, Adam? But the reason I posted that one is because there was this dude who actually came into my DMs and he was asking for shit. Like, it's like, dude, I say that for my one-on-one clients. And this is the biggest example that I want to give to my listeners right now. That is, give before you take. Give before you take. So yeah, that's right. That's the biggest teaching point that I can get to my listeners now. So I appreciate you coming out to the Masculine Mindset Show, Jeremy.
My pleasure, dude.
I look forward to having you on again in the future.
Thank you, Adam.
I'm putting his link in the show notes, you guys. Go support this guy. His book will be in the show notes. It is called Money Grows on Trees. Now, just do me a favor, leave me a 5-star review with words behind it. I appreciate you. And again, you guys, I'm putting his info in the show notes. I appreciate you for tuning into the Masculine Mindset Show. And you guys, again, as I said, I do get hit up frequently. And remember, give before you take. I appreciate you.